So, loan officers, do you want all of your favorite loan officer podcasts on one page? Well, the marketing animals, they have it for you. From lead generation to team building to marketing ideas. Go listen today. It is all free. The only thing you have to do is click this banner right over there. You know, here's something to consider as a loan officer, particularly as a broker. Now, just think this logically through for a couple of minutes and draw your own conclusions. That's all I'm saying here. But with all the newly minted, publicly traded mortgage companies, the wholesalers are a big one out there, they have an obligation to their shareholders, not to you. They have an obligation to profits first. It's their fiduciary. Now, for those companies that are not publicly traded, they don't share that same legal obligation, that fiduciary. So here's my question. As volume falls off, as it is, and it will continue, and the whole margin compression thing comes back. And by the way, margin compression just means you have too much overhead for the volume of mortgages that you're closing and thus can't compete on a rate to stay profitable. So as volume falls and margins tighten, will these publicly traded mortgage companies feel an obligation to their shareholders to maintain profits and hold rates higher than market norms, or will they find a way to pivot? Remember, being publicly traded not only means they need to maintain profitability, but they also need to grow. And those obligations, to me, seem a bit at odds with a shrinking mortgage market. And something to consider here as we continue talking about this is Chase just came out and said they're already seeing changes in spending habits due to the Delta variant of this COVID virus. Travel is down and all of entertainment spending is down. This is according to Chase. That speaks to a slowing economy. Now remember, we just told you yesterday that Zillow, with all their billions of dollars, have been trying to find a way to break the chains of that premier agent relationship. And all their efforts have just fallen on their face. The whole iBuyer thing is not profitable. There's just not enough inventory to go around. So will the same hold true for a shrinking mortgage industry? Either way, it's going to be entertaining to see how this whole thing plays out. Finally, on this topic, we just told you that Homebridge Wholesale merged with a San Francisco-based tech lending Figure Technologies group. Now, this one is a collision of two different worlds. It's old school, which is Homebridge, meets the new world, which is Figure. And Figure, by the way, is valued at $3.5 billion. So they're no slouch. My point is this: you can see these two companies coveting what each other has. All wild speculation, but probably true. Here's the point. How many mergers, acquisitions, or IPOs have we heard about in the past few months in the mortgage space? Since things started to slow down, the answer is not one. Why? Because it doesn't make sense in a slowing market, which makes you wonder if all those investors and all of those IPOs in the mortgage space are looking at the revised COVID Delta variant projections on our economy and going, uh-oh, maybe this wasn't a great idea. So once again, here's another question for you. Is 2022 going to be the first mortgage equivalent of the dot-com bubble? Wild speculation and probably not true, but in the mortgage space, you can't help but notice that there's a lot of mouths at the dinner table right now. And speaking of mergers, did you hear that the Pepsi Corporation and the Boston Beer Company are getting together to make an alcohol version of Mountain Dew? I don't know about you, but that sounds like a hangover and a domestic dispute all in a bottle. The only question I really have is will the Booze Dew outsell, shall I say, outpace, you get it, Budweiser at NASCAR events?
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
I love that. Side note here, one of my favorite commercials ever was when Budweiser said, "We want you to drink responsibly, but we're now offering our product conveniently in a 30-pack. And finally, forbearances went down a smidge, but are still basically at 1.7 million. Those residential lending numbers are also dropping off, but commercial and multifamily lending is looking to go through the roof, raising 30% over the past quarter. Now, we looked at this, okay? If you can find a commercial lender that you can simply refer business to for a referral fee, you can clean up and make a lot of cash here. Maybe harder, but closer to you, sounds a little awkward, but true, is multifamily housing. On a smaller scale, spend an afternoon or two running down those 2 to 4 unit places, see if there's any interest in refinancing, cashing out, or even sales. And if you find a sale, you can work this with you can work this with your real estate agent partner, and you can go make hay with them when the hay is making. It would just be a good thing. Have a great day.